doing Parashat Yitro, very famous Parasha. This is Parasha. We have the famous Ten Commandments, meeting of Moshe and his father-in-law, and we'll share a few points of the Parasha. So Yitro is a very interesting personality. He had Yitro had very interesting worldview. Even his avodah to Hashem, connection to Hashem, he went through a very interesting cycle of events. He didn't believe in God first. He did pretty much every avodah zarah in the world. He experienced every religion, and in the end, he thought, everything's fake. Nothing makes sense. Eventually, he became a God worshipper, but he didn't go a straight line. And in the beginning, he even asked his son-in-law Moshe not to Shabbat Shalom, not to impose Torah and mitzvot on his grandchildren. He said, "I want my grandchildren to choose themselves. I don't want them to go, from birth. I don't want them to be from birth, FFB." But anyhow, Yitro decides to come and meet Moshe. Why did he decide to come see Moshe? So Torah says that Vayishma Yitro heard something. What did he hear? He said, "I have to go see Moshe because of what I heard." Et kol asher asa Elokim leMoshe u'leMitzrayim. He heard what Hashem has done for Moshe and Jews. Ki hosi Hashem et Israel miMitzrayim, because Hashem has taken them out of Egypt. So Yitro was a priest, was a very famous guy. Actually, he lost his position because he converted to Judaism, and people of his city or his town didn't like that idea that you don't worship our idols, you worship a new power. But he loved his new belief system. He was so impressed. He discovered the truth so much that said it's worth losing all of my position. When you're a ranking person, people bow down to you, and you shift. If you're going to stop bowing down to you, you might not want to do it. I have so many, I have a caliber, I have a position. If I, start keeping kosher, stop doing avodah zarah, start keeping Shabbat, people think you're crazy, right? You don't go to a non-kosher restaurant, you're not coming with us anymore. It's very hard to change a lifestyle. Even if you believe what's right, but it's very hard to change. Yitro was committed to do it. That's what makes him very special, right? He went to the desert to see his son-in-law. Why there? Invite him over. You have a nice house, make a good dinner and say, come visit us. He goes over to the desert, middle of nowhere, to see Moshe Rabbeinu. Why? That's what a Jew does. Someone who believes in Hashem, who believes in the right path. I do anything to get to the right place. So one of the names of Yitro is Chovav or Chovev. Why? Shechibeb et Torah. He loved the Torah. So he loves the Torah. He does anything. He goes to the desert. He stops his friends. He finds new friends and he finds a new way of life. You love Torah. You love Hashem, and that's what Yitro did. It took him a long time, but eventually he chose his path, and he said, even if I'm not the mayor or the governor or the king or whatever I am, it's worth it for me. I'll go to the desert, I visit my son-in-law, and we go there, you're pretty much a nobody, but I do anyways because I want to convert. I want to be a Hashem follower. It's a very big lesson. A person wants to accept Torah, the Ten Commandments, it's time that we accept Torah from Hashem. You have to be able to make that very strong commitment. Make a commitment. And obviously it has a cost. You're going to lose things, but a person has to be ready to take on that mission. If I'm following Hashem, it means I have to live a different way of life. Somebody told me that he did lose a lot of friends because he wanted to keep kosher, and his friends would only go to a non-kosher restaurant. And he wanted to keep kosher, and it wasn't there anymore. Going to keep Shabbat, the same thing.
Somebody you know?
Yeah, he thought, him and his wife called me. What should we do? Their friends, they want to keep going to the same restaurant. They always did, but this couple, they're not so young even, but they want to keep kosher, and that's the same question about keeping Shabbat too. Something about the kids' relationship, and their only chance was a Shabbat invitation, and that would cost them Chilul Shabbat. And Baruch Hashem didn't do it. They said we want to keep Shabbat, and I found the child a good friend, so I didn't have to do Chilul Shabbat to keep the relationship. Baruch Hashem, the son is very happy, but that's what it means. You have to be strong. You want to. Yitro was somebody, a very famous guy in Israel. Kohen Midian, he was the highest level of governor of Midian. He said, I'm going to go to the not easy. Somebody who doesn't have a big following and is not so famous. Okay, maybe I find better friends when I become religious. When I follow Shabbat, I go to shul, I find friends. But somebody who already has a lot of things going for him and he wants to change, it's very hard. Very, very hard, because he's going to lose a lot of people.
And he was a boy before, right?
Right.
Converted.
So everything, yes. He had to convert, he has to lose his status, and money too. It says that the fact that his daughters were the shepherds, because he became very poor. Why Yitro sent his daughters to be shepherds? And they met, one of them met Moshe Rabbeinu eventually. You have a son, you are rich, you don't send your daughters. Must be, you lost.
That was before, though.
It didn't take too long, a year or two, maybe, altogether.
So he was already poor before. So he was already.
He was changing his life. He was changing his life for better, and he lost his big status of Kohen Midian. So something, Parsha Matan Torah, we receive the Torah in this Parsha, we learn from Yitro. Keeping Torah, is a strong commitment. You have to be ready to make changes. Another idea is that Rashi says that he heard. What did he hear? What Hashem has done for Jews that took them out of Egypt. So he says there were two final points that made Yitro really move. What were the two things?
Splitting of the sea.
And
Egyptians dying?
that's included in Kriyas Yam Suf. And the second was what we just read in last week's Parsha, and then the Parsha, Milchamat Amalek, fight with Amalek, the war with Amalek. So why did it take Yitro so long to be convinced this is it? Should have gone earlier, maybe right away. When they left Egypt, they should have gone there, right? There were 10 plagues in Egypt. That was good enough for Yitro to move out. Say, you know what? Something happened in Egypt. I gotta go. I want to join the crowd. It took a long time. Why? So Rav David Feinstein has a long piece on this. He says that even though that Yitro and many other people believe that there is God, but they were always suspicious. There might be another power in Egypt too. Okay, 10 plagues we understand, but Egyptians could do the same thing with their own kishuf, with own magics, right? They could do something. But Kriyat Yam Suf was something that nobody could imagine. There's no kishuf, there's no magic that you could split the sea. No power can do this. That was such a huge miracle, right? that Yitro said, I have no doubt. Right now, I'm doubt free. Which Egyptian magician could split the ocean? This is impossible. What do we read on night of Pesach in Haggadah? We say whatever a miracle Hashem brought in Egypt, 4 times more, or 5 times more, was by the ocean. Why? Because every miracle in Egypt, Torah says, Esba Elokim, was the finger of God. By the ocean, it said Yad Hashem, hand of God. Hand of God, 5 times more than the Esba Elokim, than the finger of God, right? So when all the miracles Hashem brought in Egypt was a fifth of Hashem, what Hashem showed everyone by splitting the ocean. That's why, Rabbi Kiva says maybe every makkah had 4 parts, so it wasn't a 10 makkot, it was actually 40 makkot or 40 pieces of makkot, so 5 times more, so 200 makkot by the ocean, right? I think what is the last one? Rabbi Kiva, Rabbi Sekolili. Someone says no, it was 5 pieces of each makkah, so about 250 miracles by the ocean. So 250 miracles Hashem did by the ocean. 250 miracles. So Yitro said, now I have no doubt. This is, nobody could do it. So even if I have 1%, safek in my mind, maybe there's something that could compete with God. There's no competition. Also, Milchan Amalek, that war could have been a big disaster. Amalek was a very strong power, and we see throughout the history, Amalekis are very, very powerful people, right? In time of, Shaul, which was the first big war between Jews and Amalek, time of Haman. He was very powerful. Always, Amalek is very, very powerful. It's very hard to defeat them. It's like Hamas, pretty much. They're also Amalek. They have the big genes, DNA of Amalek. So after these two, pretty much Hashem made every mind, at ease that, you see, nobody can defend himself in front of me. If I want someone to win, they win all the way. So this too made Yitro really change his mind. We see another important lesson from Moshe Rabbeinu. He says that Moshe went to greet his father-in-law. After Moshe, Aharon did, their children, and everybody, all the nation went to greet Yitro. So at this point, Yitro is nobody. He's a newcomer to the camp. Moshe is a very Khakshoor person, very important person, right? He's done so many miracles so far, and he's about to bring Torah down. And that person wouldn't necessarily go and greet someone much lower than him. When would you do it? He's my father-in-law. He took me in, right? When I ran from Egypt, this guy helped me. So very important. Moshe said, who cares who I am right now? I have a duty to pay respect. First is my father-in-law, and number 2, he has done favors to me. Right? When I was running for my life, he took me in. So it's a very important lesson. Not only that, Gemara says that the pasuk says, they all came to eat in a suda, in a feast with Yitro. Aaron came, all the elders came. So where was Moshe? I mean, they all was Moshe, right? Yitro came because of Moshe. Where is Moshe himself? No, I didn't start the judging. That's his next day. So he says Moshe was not sitting down.
Yosef owns.
No,
that was before.
he says that even though Moshe is the one who caused all this big balagan to, everyone should go greet Yitro, he was in the kitchen making food for everybody. He was serving, he was the waiter. Can you imagine Moshe Rabbeinu serving his father-in-law, his brother, his nephews, everybody who was sitting, all the elder people sitting there? Who is serving them? Moshe Rabbeinu is serving them. I said, guys, you take care of me and my father-in-law. Such an honor. My father is here. There's nothing wrong, to exert some efforts. I have to do my job. I have to serve my father-in-law, right? Many people want to show that, how do you say father-in-law in Yiddish? Shaver. My shaver is home, or shaviger is home. Let me show you do this, you do that. How many people actually get up, go to kitchen, bring food, bring tea, coffee for the shaver or shaviger, right? Shaviger means mother-in-law. You think so? You don't know Yiddish. So not too many people do it, but Moshe shows that don't be balgava. Don't have gaiva. Your father-in-law is here. You go serve your father-in-law. You serve your family members. The important thing. Okay, so who talked about the judgment of Moshe? Abe, you said Moshe was judging people. So nowadays there is a court system. Who is the head of the court nowadays? Pam Bundy. Is she the head of the court system right now?
Yeah, this is that one.
Yeah. DOJ is the court system of America. What is the court system? Hi, doctor. Where is court system America? That's the key. Chief Justice. But what is the Department of Justice? But now there's a lady in charge, right? Pam Bundy, something like that. The lady that was attorney for Trump, she became the head. So this judicial system didn't exist back in the time. So how would people do? What would people? How would you find out what's right, what's wrong? You have a fight with somebody. You had a business deal and didn't go well, or somebody damaged my car or my animal. We got into a fight. So who is right? Who has to pay who? They'll go to the Rav, and the Rav would say everything. Moshe Rabbeinu had to answer for thousands of people. So Torah says that his father-in-law, so this doesn't work. How much can you answer? One person cannot, reply to thousands of requests. What should we do? Should find good people, right? People who are emet or truth-worthy. People, accept them. They are good people. They know they cannot bribe them, right? The bribery is allowed in the news in Abe's hometown. Your mayor was almost indicted for bribery. So it says that that you have to pick the judges who will not accept bribe, and the best is if they are wealthy themselves. You don't bribe wealthy people because they don't need your money. They won't accept your money. But you have to find different judges. The lower judge, the Supreme Court. The higher judge. You have different court system. Yitro is the one who suggested to Moshe Rabbeinu, right? What does the word of Yitro mean? Yitro in Hebrew comes from Yeter. It is addition. He additioned one thing in the Torah. This didn't exist. It was Yitro's idea to have this addition to the Jewish life. Court system. So he commanded to have, he suggested to have heads of 1,000, heads of 100, 50, and 10. And every 10 people should have a judge over them. Every 50 people should have a judge over them. Every 100 people should have, meaning if you're a judge over 100 people, obviously you're a bigger, wiser judge, or more halachot, I guess, right? You oversee the one over 50, and the 50 will oversee the one over 10. And if you're a judge over 1,000, I mean you are almost a Supreme Court. You're very. So they needed 600 judges for the 1,000 because there were 600,000 men. So 600 high court judges. Then for the 100, they need 6,000 judges, right? For the 50, they needed 12,000, and 60,000 was for the 10. So that means Moshe had a big task to choose so many judges, right? 60,000 plus 12,000 plus 6,000 plus 1,000. Do the math. You need to pick 100,000 people. It wasn't an easy job for Moshe to do. So if Hashem approves it, do it. Right? So the Shalishi says, Vaishma Moshe lekol chotno. Moshe listened to his father, to his Shaver's advice, and he did exactly what he said. Obviously, he said, ask Hashem. Hashem says yes. V'sivecha Elokim. Hashem should command it. Hashem says yes, do it. You do it. Moshe did the same. He asked his father-in-law. Hashem asked Moshe asked Hashem, and Hashem said, do as your father-in-law says, and Moshe did it. And he chose from people, again, leaders of 1,000, leaders of hundreds, leaders of 50, and leaders of 10. And they became the court. The last pasuk says that Moshe sent his father-in-law away. He said, go back. Enough commandments. Enough suggestions. No, I'm kidding. Moshe sent his father-in-law back to his land. So Rashi says, Moshe wanted Yitro to go convert all other people in Midian. Right, spread the word. Now you became a real Jew, you worship Hashem, the Torah. Now go spread it out. My Rav said, again, you see how anav Moshe was. Usually people don't like to listen to other people, right? They like to do their way, especially that other person is his father-in-law. The father says it's something, you don't want to do. Or if you have to do it, you always want to make changes to show it was my decision, not your decision. Right? Your mother says, put the couch here, you want to put it there. This design is better if this thing is here, you want to put it somewhere else. Make this food, I want to make the other food. Right? Go this place, I want to do other place. People want to argue, especially in-laws thing. Right? Moshe also has to deal with his in-law right now. His father do something, but my Rabbi said, you see, the anevut of Moshe Rabbeinu was so anav, was so humble. Not only he listened to his father-in-law, he said exactly what the father-in-law said. Because if you know what he said, a leader of 1,000, I think leader of 5,000 is better. Okay, good, but 1,000 is too little. I have to find 600 people. I want to make it to 400 people. I put in the Supreme Court. Why should I? The federal judges shouldn't be so many. I want to have less. You could have made that argument and said, okay, what do you want? Moshe took the note exactly what the father-in-law said. He did exactly what he did, right? That takes a lot of anivut, takes a lot of humility. That was Moshe Rabbeinu. And also he showed that Akarat HaTov, you have to appreciate what someone has done to you because his father-in-law took care of him before. He's doing whatever he says to make him happy.
Why did you send him away? You sent one like shutting up?
No, that was a joke. He said he wanted Yitro to convert his people. There's a lot of people left in Midian, right? His family, other people. So usually when you inspire yourself, you feel accomplished. You could go and tell other people, I just was my son-in-law. He's the leader he's been such a great leader. And yet I said something he accepted. It must be a true religion. You guys also follow. So the point is that Moshe listened to his father-in-law, right? Even though most people don't do it. Another point is, it was business to say what to do. Who is higher right now? Is Moshe higher or Yitro? Who is more accomplished? Right? So I go to Trump and say, President Trump, I think you should do this like this. The better idea, who is the president? Who ran the campaign? Who won the election? How many votes? Who got the votes? You tell me what to do? It's not a business. If you are the president of another country with 500 million people and you have accomplished more than President Trump or any president, you could tell him, you know what? You're not doing the right thing. This way is better way. But somebody, who's pretty much nobody, he was the leader, he was the priest, but much smaller scale, to somebody who has done so many miracles, 10 plagues, ocean, with Amalek.
He was wise to listen.
Understand, but somebody to have the chutzpah to say it, that's too much. Can you go tell Elon Musk how to make money? I have $500 billion. How much money you got? I'm still making my first million, but I think you make money better. He made a joke that people with $100,000 salary, they made $30 million net worth. How does that happen? If you have a good business suggestion, I want to hear it. That's how you make more, right? So Yitro had the chutzpah to say it, and Moshe still took it. You have to be very honored. You want to hear emet, right? If somebody is looking to see emet, doesn't matter who is telling him. If a child telling him, but that's emet, you're right. It's a good idea. I'll do it. The person should be emet seeker, and he has to be honored. He has to be humble to hear it and do it. That's our leader. That's Moshe Rabbeinu. Okay, so within the Parsha that when Moshe eventually was ready to bring down the Torah, another big aspect of Moshe Rabbeinu is the one who actually delivered the Torah to us. Nobody could do it. Yitro didn't do it. Aaron didn't do it. Moshe is the one who went up on the mountain. There are a few important points here that it says that Hashem told Moshe, you first get the commandment from whom? Who got the commandment to do the Torah first within the Jewish nation? Who got the commitment? Who did Moshe get the commandment first? Mm-hmm. The first section of Jews who accepted the Torah, who were they?
Levi.
The first section, the first group of Jews who accepted the Torah, or who gave the commandment to keep the Torah. So the Torah says, first, say it to the household of Yaakov, and then say it to the Jewish nation. Bet Yaakov, Midrash says, it was the ladies. First, the commitment was from the ladies. In order to ensure that the Torah will exist and will continue and will be observed, who should have given the guarantee on it? Men couldn't do it. Ladies. That's what the Torah. Ko Tomar Levet Yaakov. Bet Yaakov, house of Yaakov is the ladies. If you look at any city in America, what is the Jewish girls' school called? Bet Yaakov. Right? It comes from this pasuk. Anywhere in the world, not only in America, in Europe, in Israel. I mean, Israel, I'm sure there are many other names for it. But Bet Yaakov is like calling a yeshiva for girls. Even if there's another name, let's say Machon, institution, but it's called Machon Bet Yaakov. Machon, you understand, it's the girls, Jewish girls' school, because there's a Bet Yaakov attached to it. Bet Yaakov is a very, is a copyrighted name for girls schools in America. Who was the founder? Sarah Schneider, the founder of Bet Yaakov. Who was a lady that couldn't read, couldn't write. She had but she said girls have to have school system. They have to learn because the boys go to yeshiva, but the girls don't learn anything anymore. In Europe, she started the whole girls' school system, and the Gedolim, the great rabbis, approved it as a good idea. Said, we have so many boys in yeshiva, but the girls, what are they doing? You know what they were doing at the time? Hanging out with Polish soldiers. They have nothing to do at home. They would go out, So how much cooking and sewing can you do? How much Torah can they learn from the mothers anymore? So the time was right for Sarah Schneider. Forgot the last name. Brilliant lady. She started the movement of Bet Yaakov at the time, based on this pasuk that first Torah should be given to the ladies. The commitment should come from the ladies and then men. Obviously, it says that you talk to ladies, you have to talk in a soft language. You can't tell hard stuff to ladies. They can't take it. We have to be very careful, right? Ladies' language and men language. For men, it's a tagid. Tagid is hard stuff, punishments, the consequences, hard halachot. This goes for men. For ladies, they already the warranty and the contract, right? They keep it, but you have to talk in their language. You say it softly. Obviously, you don't change anything, but there you say it. What you say are the lashon rakah, soft language. Another thing Torah says that now you have to listen to me. Rashi says very, very important. Rashi says a very important rule. It says that when you accept the Torah, you have to be very strong acceptance. I mean, the commitment always has to be a very, very important part. Every time you want to do something, the commitment part is the most important part. Let's say you find a new job, right? You open a new business. What's the hardest part? Not to do the business, not to run the business, is when you accept to do the business. If you have a clear idea, it's going to be hard. I have to do this. I have to wake up early in the morning. I have to, give up a lot of fun times. It'll be hard for my family, but I have to do it. You accept to do it. The rest will be easy. Will be sweet. So Rashi says there's a very very famous expression. It says "Kol hatchalot kashot." That expression. Kol hatchalot kashot. Kol hatchalos kashos. Very, very famous line. One of the very famous lines that Rashi ever said and Chumash. It says that Kol hatchalot kashot. All beginnings are hard. Right? The beginning should be hard. When you're starting something, make sure you have a clear idea what you're going to do. And it's going to be hard. Let's say someone wants to keep kosher. Obviously, there are stores that you cannot go anymore, parties you cannot attend, there are going to be meals, delicious meals they cannot eat, and your kids want to go somewhere, you cannot take them. Got to keep kosher. Someone says, I'll keep kosher, but they're also part of kosher? Man, it's too hard. Maybe Sundays I don't have to keep kosher. Shabbat dinner, it's okay, I don't have to keep. You didn't accept, kashrut well, right? Somebody accepts to keep Shabbat or any mitzvah. Tefillin, wearing tefillin. There are days that it's easy to go to shul and wear tefillin. Sometimes it's very hard. So, kol hatchalot kashut. All the beginnings are very hard. You have to, start it off with the right foot. You accept the mitzvah with the whole heart. So maybe a few points on the Kabbalat Torah and the Ten Commandments also. It says that Jews came on the Sinai Desert. You heard of that name, Sinai Desert? Who owns it right now? Egypt. Back to Egypt. There's a big problem nowadays in the Sinai Desert. You heard the news? There's a big military buildup from Egyptians now. Hundreds of tanks, 100,000 soldiers there. That's against the peace treaty. They were not supposed to have so many tanks, or it should be like a non-military zone. Egypt should keep it, but not as a military because they're too close to Israeli border. Hashem Yerachem. But that's where Jews stationed to accept the Torah. Torah says over there, Vayichan Sham Israel neged har. What does that mean? When they get to the Sinai Desert, it says that Vayichan. The word before the Vayachanu. Vayachanu, they camped. They rested. They stationed, right? But it says Vayichan Sham Israel neged. But in front of the mountain, Mount Sinai, Vayichan, he stationed, or he camped, or he dwelled. Who is he?
He came on.
You talk about at least 1 million people, 600,000 men, ladies, elders, younger. So another very famous Rashi, Keish echad belev echad, with like one man, one heart. But only one time in the whole history that Jews all agreed on one thing, right? Right? You never find a minion that 9 out of 10 agree on something. You have 10 people have 10 different ideas, 9 different ideas. Everybody's arguing. There's only one time in the history that it says he camped. He became one person. That's why Hashem gives the Torah. Rabbi David Feinstein says a beautiful idea also. It says, Bayom Hazeh, on this day. Which day was that? So 6 when they got the Torah, but they came to the desert. Rashi says Rosh Chodesh. What's the Rosh Chodesh Sivan? Rosh Chodesh Sivan. So now Rabbi David asked this following question: why did the Torah didn't say it? Why should you say Bayom Hazeh on this day, which is Rosh Chodesh? Say it. Bayom Rosh Chodesh, Bayom Rishon. What Bayom Hazeh? On this day. So he says that when Hashem does a miracle, a big thing, Hashem wants Jews to relate. Hashem took the Jews out of Egypt on the month of Nisan. Why Nisan? If you do the mazalot, every month has a mazal. We just learned it a couple of weeks ago in Masechet Rosh Hashanah. What's the mazal of Nisan? Very good, a teleh, a ram, right? Why Hashem wanted to do it on this a month later? Why Chodesh Nisan? Because Hashem wanted to show Jews, you see, Egyptians believe in the power of teleh, power of a ram, right? I want you to take a ram, take that sheep, and shecht it, and make a korban. It's pointless, nothing to it. There's no power to the mazal. I don't think that mazal runs anything. I put these things around. I made the stars look like mazals. There's no power to the star. Don't get the mazal wrong. So what's the mazal of, what's the zodiac of Chodesh Sivan, the 3rd month? That's Tishrei because Hashem judges us. There's a scale. That's the mazal of Tishrei. It's hard to remember all the 12 unless we are very into zodiacs. What's the mazal of Sivan? Twins, Tu'umim. Right? Twins, Tu'umim. Why on this month? Right? Sivan, Shavuot. Why we have Tu'umim? Why Hashem? Bayom Hazim is in this month, which Rabbi David says they could see the stars who look like a twin. He says, if there are two people who care for each other the most, are twins. Care for each other the most are twins. Twins, by default, by nature, love each other. They care for each other. They grow up together. He says that there was once a twin in my yeshiva on Shabbat had a very hard time. So what's wrong? I don't know. There's something wrong with me. What's wrong? I don't know. But I know there's something wrong with me. What was wrong with him? He didn't know, but his sister was giving birth. Same Shabbat. She was going through pain. He was going through pain. He said, I don't know what to explain, how to explain this. But the only explanation to me, he says, is that they're twins. They're kind of connected. They were in the same city. They know each other. He didn't know she's going to labor. But on Shabbat afternoon, he kept telling me, I have a hard time. There's something wrong with me. At the same moment, his sister was giving birth. His twin sister was giving birth. So he says that's why Hashem picked the month of Tu'umim, month of twins, to be a Matan Torah, because we have to care for each other. Torah was not given to Jews unless a Jew was caring for another Jew. Right? If you say, I'm okay, my kids are okay. What do I care about another kid, another Jew? He wants to keep Shabbat, doesn't want to keep Shabbat. What do I care? It's his problem. If that was your twin, you would care for him or for her. I say, no, If I keep kosher, if I have a Jewish lifestyle, I want my sister also to have it. I care. I want to make sure they're on the right path. They get Olam Haba. Right? They have a happy life. Whatever you care of your twin, that's the month. Bayom has, and that day that Jews could look at the star and say, wow, we are all twins. We all care for each other. And that's why we became Vayichan Sham Israel. One person camped. We all became one. They really cared for each other. Right? That's the only time that there's no argument. You don't see for a few days there was no argument. Started right after. But for those few days before they get the Torah, Jews were very, very caring, very, very united. So that unity is very important for Torah. A person cannot accept Torah unless we care for each other. We cannot force other people to do the right thing, but we could care for them, could invite them, could ask them, could teach them, right? And he says nobody could say, "Oh, I knew he's not going to listen to me." How do you know? You never tried. You never invited him. You never told him about it. You never described the beauty of it. You try a few times. He says, "No, I don't want." Then okay, you could have the excuse that I tried, didn't work. But if he didn't accept, that means another person will not accept. You try with Reuven, but Shimon could accept. Levi could, Yehuda could accept. So month of Sivan, the month of Umim, because we care for each other, and we have to not only have the Torah for ourselves, for other people too. 10 Commandments. So the first one is accepting Hashem, that there's only one God above us. That's the first mitzvah of the 10 Commandments. The second one is that you cannot have a partner for God. You cannot have Avodah Zarah. You can have, I believe in God, but I also believe in this power, this idol. That's the second commandment. Third one is you cannot swear in the name of Hashem or mention Hashem's name in vain. Fourth one is Shabbat. The fifth one is respecting parents. So see, the first four is all about Hashem. He's one. Don't have a partner for God. Don't mention His name in vain. Shabbat is the day of Hashem. All about Hashem. The fourth one is parents. The fifth one has nothing to do with Hashem. Right? But let's go to the sixth one. 6 is do not kill. 7 is do not do adultery. And then lot tignov, do not steal or do not kidnap, or stealing or kidnapping, and do not give false testimony. And the 10th one is do not be jealous to your friend's belongings. Okay, all 5 have to do with other people. So Chabim say the first 5 was on one luach, one tablet. The other 5 was on the second tablet. But they're not even. The first 5 should be all about Hashem. The second 5 should be all about two human beings. Why is Kod Av V'Em in the first one?
Because they're three partners in making a baby, and the way you treat your parents is ultimately the way you view God.
Very good.
Respecting them.
Excellent. So you see that Hashem treated parenting or parents in a higher level. They're not just human beings. They're part of Hashem's world. Right? Hashem, the co-creators, right? Hashem, Hashem wanted to show if you produce a Jewish kid, if you multiply my nation, you are with me. That's the power of marriage. We take it for granted. If you have a Jewish child in this world, you are partnered with God. You're on the same tablet with God. Right? Why respecting parents is so important? It says it will prolong your life. I'm sure every mitzvah prolong your life. Why only the parenting is so important? Respecting parents. You are showing that you did Hashem's mission. Hashem wanted the Jewish nation to exist. There are people who accept Torah, who keep the Torah, and you did it. You brought me to this world to keep the Torah. If every Jewish father, Jewish mother decided not to bring kids, there was nobody to keep the Torah. So Hashem's mission wouldn't accomplish. So the ones that are actually proactively doing something for Hashem's mission to exist, to go further, are the parents. That's why they are called partners with God. When I build the shul, also I'm doing something for Hashem, but that's not part of the first 5 commandments. Why is why Kaved Avicha, parents are so important? Right? There's no other respect, mitzvah that has to do with respect in the 10 commandments, in the first tablet, which has to do with God. But respect the parents are. Hashem treated parents with very high dignity. Wow, you became a parent? Very good. Good job. You are with me. Put him on the first tablet. Not even the second tablet, the first tablet. Very, very holy job to do. You are bringing a Jewish kid to this world to teach Torah, to keep the Torah and mitzvot. You're continuing the Jewish nation. Well, what did Hashem create the world for? For Jews to come, learn the Torah, accept the Torah, right? The whole famous thing about Hashishi. What is the Hashishi? The 6th Hashishi. Why the Torah says Yom Echad, Yom Sheni, Yom Shelishi, Yom Revi, Chamishi? So Shishi there, Yom Hashishi. What is the Hey? The 6th.
It's the day that he created Adam Rishon.
That's the day created Adam Rishon, after the day that Hashem completed the universe. The 6th day, the whole world was complete, nothing missing. But it says, so this Hashishi, the 6th day. So there's a very famous Gemara. What the Gemara says, that 6th day had to do with the 6th day in this 6th Parsha, the 6th of Sivan. We got the Torah. Hashem made a condition. He said, the world, you see, universe, you are complete. Everything is here. The heaven and the earth and the stars, the moon, the sun, trees, animals, everything, Adam, human beings. One condition. If the other 60 doesn't work out, everything will be destroyed. Everything will be demolished. I don't want it. So what was the goal of Hashem of the 6 days of creation? For Jews, Hashishi, right? For Jews, not for hashish. It was for Hashishi, right? The Jews come on Mount Sinai and accept the Torah. That was the goal of creation for God. For us, it's not, I want to make more money, I want to become more famous, I want to buy this, I buy that. That was the goal. The goal was that are the Jews practicing Torah, accepting Torah, practicing Torah, which happened, this is Parsha, Matan Torah. So a parent is a direct partner of this goal because he's bringing kids to this world, right, to accept the Torah and practice the Torah. So Hashem treats parents with a lot of respect. You have to, it says that, you have to respect parents, and it says you have to respect God, right? He says you have to fear God, you have to fear your parents too. Almost exactly like Hashem, pretty much. It doesn't override Hashem, but it's almost like Hashem. Why? Because they are they brought me to the world, right? So again, it also goes back to the first point. If a person has too much ga'ava, in not like Moshe, he doesn't have respect for people who have done him favors. He wouldn't have respect for his father or mother either. I know better. I'm smarter. I'm richer. I'm stronger. I do a much better job than you guys do. Again, he doesn't understand. These are the parents who brought them to the world. If you have anything, it's because of your parents. It goes back to the first point I said, appreciation. When someone has done you a big favor, giving you life, you have to appreciate. You have to remember it. So that's why Mitzvah Kaved Avicha is mentioned in the first tablet. I think we can stop here. Wishing everybody Shabbat Shalom, and see you tomorrow for Shabbat Parshat Yitro.
Rabbi Hashish